Hello guys, I'm Transform1334 bringing you another amazing Today I've got something special for you guys. If you guys have been watching my channel, I tried to do this series a while ago in many different ways, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I just gave up on it. But this format I'm gonna stick with, so there's not gonna be any video in the background or anything like that. It's gonna just be no animations either. It's just gonna be me just giving you my short story I wrote. You know, I am a writer, and I want to start, just to motivate me to write more, I'm going to start taking some short stories and just sort of putting my beautiful voice to them so you guys can listen to them. As always, the link to both my Wattpad is going to be in the description, as long as I think I might put a SoundCloud in there. I'm not really sure. There'll be something in the description for you guys. Anyways, hope you enjoy. The story is called Shutter, and this is the first installment of it, so hope you enjoy. I felt stupid. Well, I looked stupid as I walked on 179th dressed like a blizzard was about to hit us in the middle of spring. I felt like I was going to melt away under the red rain jacket, gray jogging pants, and biker gloves I was wearing. If my clothes didn't cook me alive fast enough, then the swimming goggles over my head and headscarf around my neck was going to kill me via embarrassment. Yep, I felt like some crazy hobo, and it was all thanks to my idiot friend Jordan, who was walking next to me in his normal black basketball shorts with white tee. "What?" Jordan asked. He had caught my glance that I had just noticed turn into a glare. "Nothing, just wondering why I'm the only one who has to dress up like we're about to hit up a soup kitchen," I bickered, as I pulled at my jacket that was starting to stick to my black skin from all the sweat. "Hey, I put a lot of time into making that superhero outfit for you," Jordan responded as he glared at me with his light-skinned, freckled face. "Yeah, I'm sure it took a long time for you to come up with the genius idea to put your old swimming goggles and your mom's headscarf on me. What is this stupid stuff even for? First off, you tried putting together a costume with no budget at all. Second, the goggles and mask are to help disguise your identity. Why would I need to disguise myself anyways? So no one knows it's you when you do your thing," Jordan explained, leaning in and lowering his voice to whisper when he said thing. "You mean my super shh?" Jordan interrupted me as he practically pounced on me in order to cover my mouth. "Get off of me, crazy!" I barked as I shoved my goofy friend off me. "What's wrong with you?" "What's wrong with me? What's wrong with you?" Jordan answered as he looked at me with a wide and light brown eyes like he finally realized how dumb I looked. "You can't go around talking about your abilities like that. People might hear you." I let out a hard sigh and shook my head in disapproval. Since I told Jordan my secret 3 months ago, this is one of the most annoying things that he did now. I mean, when I found out I could finish a 400-meter dash before the referee could even finish firing the signal gun, I was pretty excited. No, I had more excitement than every Christmas, birthday, and snow day and girls' swim meet combined could give me. So, I got why Jordan was obsessed with the whole superhero thing. He used to just freak out whenever I said the word super speed or powers out loud, like the FBI or something were gonna come bursting in to take me away. That was funny, watching him go from his usually stoned, laid-back self to the off-the-walls conspiracy madman. Recently, though, he's been taking it a bit too far, dressing me up in this stupid outfit and dragging me along to go be a hero, which was something I never once agreed to being. I mean, the idea of me being a hero sounded pretty cool, but I don't think something I'm cut out to do. Troy! Jordan aggressively whispered, his frantic voice pulling me out of my thoughts. Jordan placed a hand on my chest and pointed toward the alley. I turned my head to see what he was freaking out over. What I saw was a hooded man pinning a young woman against the wall of the alley. The man had one hand on the woman's mouth and another grasped the handle of the pistol. My heart dropped as I saw glimpses of terror on the woman's face, as the man leaned in and began to whisper in her ear. A wild smile crept across his face as he whispered. Before I could see anything else, Jordan pushed me to the corner of the alley. As he pushed me, his face was the exact opposite of what I was feeling. He was practically bubbling with excitement as he leaned up against the wall and peeked back at the alley. "This is perfect," Jordan whispered, a braced smile shining brightly on his face. "What are you talking about? This is horrible. We need to call the police," I aggressively whispered, which caught the attention of a few people walking on the sidewalk who were trying their best to ignore us, like most people in this city were taught to do, like we should be doing. "What are you talking about, dude? This is our chance," Jordan responded as he turned back to look at me. "Chance to do what? To be a hero, idiot. You can zoom in there and murk that guy before you can even blink." This isn't the time to play games, Jordan. Who said it's a game? This woman's in trouble and you're the only one who can help her. No, that's what the police are for. You think the cops are gonna get here fast enough? Come on, dude. It's gonna be a piece of cake. Jordan encouraged as he reached for the headscarf around my neck. I slapped his hands away and threw a nasty glare at him. He had completely lost it. When he dragged me downtown to be a hero, I was expecting silly stuff like helping people clean up litter or helping with handing out blankets at the shelter. This was insane. I mean, this guy has a gun, the thing that we were taught from birth to stay away from. Troy, Jordan softly spoke. The excitement and bubbliness in his voice mellowed out into something more serious. You're the only one who can save her right now, and I know you can do it, he continued, his wide smile lowering into a warm, sportive grin. Damn, he was right. I begrudgingly moved the headscarf over my mouth and lowered the swimming goggles over my eyes. As I crept towards the alley, I could feel my hands shake and my throat tightened. Jordan gave me a supportive pat on the back before pushing me into the clearing of the alley. I wanted to turn around and hit him, but my eyes quickly caught a glimpse of the guy taking off the clothes of the woman. I needed to act fast, and before I could even fully process the order, my legs began to run. As I ran, the world around me seemed to slow down to a crawl as the sounds of passing cars sounded deeper and more drawn out, and the woman's frantic struggles became more lethargic and bulky. I was right next to the armed man before he could even finish grabbing the woman's shirt. I didn't know what to do next, though. My mind went completely blank as I watched the sinister smile of the man slowly turn into a confusing one as he slowly turned his head toward me. My body stiffened and his eyes began to meet mine. I should knock his gun out of his hand. I should punch him in his face. I should do anything besides just stand here. Who the fuck are you? The guy asked, his mouth moving faster than I was expecting. In fact, everything was speeding up again, including my heart, as I realized I was losing control of my power. You trying to play hero, kid? The man laughed as he knocked me on the ground with the butt of his gun. Dumbass, he continued as he aimed his gun at my head. My head began to spin as I felt blood slide down my face. This was it. I was gonna die dressed like an idiot because I couldn't just mind my business. What a stupid way to go. My dad would be ashamed. I closed my eyes and waited to see what death would feel like. I didn't get that feeling. Instead, I heard the woman yell, "Run!" in a painful grunt from the man. I opened my eyes and saw the woman fighting for the guy's gun. She was losing the fight, but she gave me a chance to get away, to live. I got up to run away, but a pit filled in my stomach as I thought about leaving this woman here. I couldn't just leave her here. Not when I could do something about it. I took a deep breath and balled my hand into a fist. The world began to once again slow down as my fist tightened. I swung my fist into the guy's face, and the blow left an indent in his cheek when it connected. I followed that up with another powerful punch that pressed his cheek down even further. After the second punch connected, I saw the man slowly lose grip of the gun. As he began to fall over, his eyes began to close. The world snapped back to normal as I loosened my shaky fist. I watched in surprise as the man dropped unconscious after just 2 punches. I looked up at the girl and saw awe wash across her teary-eyed face as her mouth began to form words. I didn't wait to listen to them, though. I slipped out of the alley and back towards Jordan without even letting her get a letter out. Jordan was ready to bombard me with questions and praises, but I grabbed his wrist and quickly dragged him away before he could start. I wanted to get away from this alley as fast as I could, away from the whole situation. If Jordan wasn't with me, I would have been halfway home by now. After running for a few blocks, Jordan grabbed my wrist and forced me to stop. Dude, what's wrong? You're running like you didn't just save that chick back there, Jordan questioned as he let go of my wrist. What's wrong? I responded as anger built up my throat. Let's see, I got my head bashed in with a gun and I nearly died. Yeah, things got a bit intense, but you won in the end, and you look like a boss doing it, Jordan praised as he shined his bubbly smile again. That only happened because I got lucky. I nearly died, I yelled as I took the goggles and scarf off. What are you talking about? You're faster than Bullet, aren't you? Yeah, I guess, but I couldn't use my powers. I froze up and I couldn't go fast, I explained as my eyes lowered to the ground. That's fine, man. Everyone messes up on their first try. You just gotta shake off that fear and have more confidence next. You're not understanding me. There's not gonna be a next time, I coldly said, as my eyes avoided the concerned look I knew Jordan was giving me. What are you talking about, man? You can't just give up like that. Yes, I can, Jordan. I almost got shot. Blam! I was one bullet away from meeting my maker, I yelled as my slightly teary eyes looked up at Jordan in rage, or maybe fear. Come on, if you don't save people who need help, who will? I don't know, the police? It's how it worked before I got these powers. The world doesn't suddenly need me now. It was perfectly fine without me risking my life. But I said I'm done. I barked at Jordan, causing him to back up in a bit in fear. Okay, man. After that, there was nothing but silence between us as we headed to the bus stop. Every minute of silence hit me with more guilt as I regretted all the aggression I threw at Jordan. He didn't do anything wrong. He was just trying to help and do something cool for me. And honestly, I was glad he was pushing me. I mean, who hasn't dreamed about being a superhero? No one tells you, though, of how hard being a superhero really is. I just can't do it. I won't do it. I won't risk my life like that. That decision made me feel like a piece of crap. The silence didn't help fix that, nor did the 3 or 4 ambulances and police cars that buzzed past us. Every time one went by, I saw Jordan give me a quick glance that I pretended to not notice. After a few painfully long minutes of walking, we made it to the bus stop. We sat down at the bench and waited on the bus, both of us not willing to break the oath of silence we committed to. It wasn't until we happened to glance at the corner store across the street from us did we speak. "Do you see that?" Jordan asked, his eyes widening. "Yeah," I said, my heart once again speeding up. What we saw through the window of the corner store was a cashier getting held up by a black guy with a ski mask over his head. The man violently waved his gun as the cashier stuffed the bag with money. "Troy," Jordan said as he looked at me expectantly. "Call the police," I coldly said, ignoring Jordan's look. "Troy," Jordan repeated, his voice sounding more desperate. "Call the police," I hissed back, frustration building in me. "But, Jordan," I said, my voice as cold as ice. With that, our unspoken argument ended, and Jordan pulled out his phone and called the cops, while I stared at the robbery taking place. I didn't have to do anything. I wasn't a cop. I didn't know any of them either, so there was no reason for me to get involved. No reason for me to feel guilty. But the guilt wouldn't stop eating away at me. I couldn't take it anymore. So I just put my head down and tried to forget about it as I heard Jordan explain to the police what was happening. Then a gunshot went off that caused my head to jolt back up. When I looked up, I saw the masked man running out of the store with a bag full of money in his hand. As I watched him, it looked like he was going so slow. It was like he was walking more than running, maybe even crawling. He ran so slow that I knew I could catch up to him instantly. I could get up now and take him down before he even knew what hit him. I could be a hero, but I didn't move. I didn't know why I didn't move, or wanted to pretend like I didn't know. I just watched him sluggishly run away for a few moments before realizing I was using my powers. Then I let the world snap back to normal. Me and Jordan were already on the bus home before the police could show up. Neither of us spoke the whole ride. I tried to start a conversation, but I think it was Jordan's turn to be furious, and he had the right to be. I counted at least 5 sirens on my way home, and each one rang through my body and filled me with grief. When we reached our stop, me and Jordan parted ways without even saying goodbye. When I made it home, I couldn't even make it 5 feet before my dad started to question me. I was supposed to be at Jordan's all day, but I came home before it was even 5 p.m., so it was no shock that my dad called me into his room when he heard me enter the house. I tied the headscarf around my head as I entered the room so he wouldn't notice my injury. When I entered my parents' room, I was met with my dad laying on the bed watching the news that was showing a bank robbery in progress. Apparently there were 10 hostages in the building, and shots had been fired. My heart sank even deeper into sadness as I listened to the events taking place. I didn't say anything to my dad or even try to look at him. I just stood there staring at the TV. "What's wrong, son?" Dad finally asked. He tossed me a glance. "Nothing," I quickly lied. "Come on, Troy, you can't hide anything from your father," Dad claimed as he muted his TV with his remote and began to sit up in his bed. I almost laughed when he said that, but I managed to catch my chuckle. I couldn't even begin to explain how wrong that statement was. He didn't know that I could make Usain Bolt look like an amputated grandpa on a walker compared to me. He didn't know that I almost got shot up trying to be a hero. He didn't know that I could save those people at the bank. I've just been thinking about this project me and Jordan are working on. Everyone has their own part, but I feel like I'm going to fail at mine. I finally blurted out as I began to weave my half-lie. "Why are you beating yourself up so much over this?" Dad asked as he moved to the edge of the bed to fully face me. "Because I have no idea what to do with this project, and if I mess it up, it could end really badly for me and everyone else in the group," I explained as my throat began to choke up from this lie. "I know it sucks, Troy, but sometimes you have to do hard, annoying stuff in order to succeed. What's important is that you try your—" "That's just it! I don't have to do it!" I blurted out, cutting my dad off and shocking both him and me. "What do you mean?" Dad questioned, as his dark brown eyes pierced my heart with concern and worry. I don't actually have to do the project. Jordan and the others said they'll do my part for me, and I can just do something easier, I answered as I tried my best to keep up the story I was telling. So, why are you so worked up over the project then? Sounds like you got it all sorted out. But I don't, I admitted as I turned to look at the muted TV displaying the bank robbery. I know I could just let them do it for me, but I looked back at the TV and watched as the police surrounded the building trying to find a way to save those people. But I don't just want to sit there and watch them do all the work, I said as I felt some tears streak down my cheeks. I know I can help. I know I can help a lot. It's just I'm too scared of. My words trailed off as they started turning to sobs. I turned back to my dad when I heard his bed creak. He was now towering over me like he usually did when I stood next to him. His eyes had softened and they were no longer piercing me. Instead, they just looked at me with love as he went in to hug me. Stop your crying, Troy. You're a grown man, Dad ordered in such a soft tone that it sounded more like a plea. Look, if there's one thing you're going to see a lot in life, it's failure. Trust me, I've seen plenty of it. But you know how I got past all that failure? I laughed at it. I moved my head away from my dad's chest and looked up into his eyes with confusion. You heard me. I lied and pretended to be stronger than it until I tricked myself into believing the lies, my dad explained as he let go of me. Did you stop feeling after that? I curiously asked, as the knot in my throat slowly went away. Hell no, my dad answered with a laugh. My face displayed even more confusion as I wiped the tears from my face. I felt like he wasn't solving my issue at all. Troy, you're never going to be able to stop yourself from failing, and that's okay. What's not okay is letting the fear of failure keep you from trying in the first place. I still didn't fully understand what he was getting at, and my dad noticed that. Troy, you remember that night someone tried to break into the house? My dad asked, placing a hand on my shoulder. My mind wandered back to a few years ago. It was a late Saturday, and everyone was sound asleep, when the sound of our window breaking woke us all up. My dad wasted no time, grabbing the gun he kept underneath the mattress and running to confront the burglar and protect his family. As I peeked my frightened eyes slowly out the door, I watched my dad stand there in front of the hooded culprit like a shining knight in a white beater. The burglar was so thrown off by my dad's height and weapon that he quickly scrambled back out of the window, dropping everything he tried to steal. My dad was so cool in that moment. Yes, I said as I gave a small nod. Well, the entire time I was staring that idiot down, I wanted to piss myself, Dad admitted with a big chuckle. My dark brown eyes widened as I processed what my dad said, and the image of my fearless night melted away. But you look so calm and focused, I pointed out as I replayed the memory in my head. Yeah, on the outside, that's what I look like, but I was honestly scared for my life, Dad explained. The only reason I stood my ground was because you, your mom, and your siblings. I couldn't let my fear stop me from doing my duty as a father and trying my hardest to protect my family. My dad put another hand on my shoulder and looked at me directly in my eyes. No matter what, son, you can't let fear stop you from trying. I think I finally understood what my dad was getting at. I gave my dad a hug and ran out the door, telling him I was going to head back over to Jordan to finish our project. As I closed the door behind me, I put my headscarf back around my face and the goggles over my head. I looked up at the sky and drew in a deep breath as I thought about what my dad had said. I just have to stare at fear and laugh at it, right? Let's hope Dad's right. With that, the road once again slowed down to a crawl, and I began to sprint toward the bank.
But Chrissy tells, I've been bullshitting a lot, but humble beginnings is coming, and I got y'all. I'm too soulful, I'm a prodigy. Living lavish, mama proud of me. Making music, moving like an odyssey. I'm too soulful, I'm a prodigy. Living lavish, mama proud of me. Making music, moving like an odyssey.